is Mark Bell from HowMuchYouBench.net, and I'm here with Eric Spoto, and we're going to learn how to bench press. I got my man over here, Mr. Robot Pants, and also Silent Mike. Mr. Spoto here is going to take them through how to bench press, but first he's going to kind of demonstrate how to bench press. He's just going to show you how he bench presses. So give us a rundown there, buddy.
Okay. So it all starts with sitting down on the bench. You got two choices. You can either go legs back, which I'm not able to do, but if you have the proper flexibility, that's an option. I go feet in front. So want to get a nice position, right? You don't want to pick a grip that's most optimal for you. You got to work on it and find the best grip. We'll go here.
What are we doing as far as like head positioning here? Because like your head is kind of almost scooted off the bench a little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to go past the bench so I could coil back.
Okay.
So now I'm going to be a lot tighter.
You still got enough distance between here and here that you have no chance of hitting the rack.
Easy.
Okay.
Let me touch it here. So go like this. We'll get our grip.
So grip is almost like a preference. Like where are you the strongest at?
You're just trial and error?
Yeah,
you're going to
have to work it. You can't just listen to anyone's grip. It's going to have to be trial and error. And you want to grab the bar as tight as possible to make that bar bleed. Go in,
make it
coil
bleed.
up.
And how are we coiling up? What is that? How is that working? Can you redo that again?
Okay, so I'm past the bar and
your feet are staying in the same spot.
Exactly, and I'm trying to pull my shoulders down as far as possible while pulling my chest up and contracting my shoulder blades together.
You mean you're pulling your shoulders down kind of this way towards your feet?
Yep.
Kind of do like a lat pull down action?
Gotcha.
Down as low as possible. So you're not in this position, not in this position.
You're not flat anymore. Your chest is in a real upright position.
It can never be too high. You can never have your chest too high.
Okay, once you get into this position,
now I'm on my traps.
Okay.
This is where you want to be when you're benching.
So low back's not really touching the pad?
No.
Yeah, we got some clearance
definitely don't
here.
want to. Yep, there's some clearance. And now
legs are tight.
My legs are pretty tight. So a big thing I like to do is second I unrack the bar, I'm already doing leg drive. Okay, a lot of people go 0, right? No leg drive, 100, and their ass flies up. So the second I unrack the bar, I'm at about 50% leg drive.
Yeah. So you're squeezing everything from unrack?
Yeah, I'm already at 50% leg drive.
Squeezing the bar, squeezing
60,
your shoulder
70,
blades.
80, 90, 100. So I'm progressively, I don't want to waste too much leg drive, so I'm not going to do 100 out the gate, but I do enough to stay completely tight.
That makes sense.
Now, while I'm doing this leg drive, I'm trying to, this is going to stay locked in. My leg's going to push. What's forced to happen? This is going to raise.
Gotcha.
If I take a wooden ruler and I push between each two, the ruler is going to bow up. So I want this to bow up. So the combination of this locking in, this pushing up, this is going to come up, and I'm going to meet the bar. I don't want to bring the bar to it. I want to meet the bar.
You're not dropping the bar. You're kind of squeezing that back all the way down.
There you go. I'm contracting my lats the whole time. So if it was just a bar, it would stop right here.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like.
Bar. Okay, so let's start from the jump. Got my feet, got my hands.
I just noticed that the feet are staying locked in. They didn't move.
Coiled, ready, locked, press. So,
and it looked like you got like a little bit of an arc between, the bars kind of started here and it kind of ended about here. Is that kind of the goal?
Right, so we're going to come down tucked, and you're going to pop it up, and it's going to finish the lift here. So it's
you'll hear different cues from different coaches. Some people say, press towards your toes, but you think a little bit more towards your chin almost. Just a little bit?
I can't even imagine pressing towards my toes. But yeah, down low, and then as you start to flare, it's going to naturally, you would never be able to just flare out here. This should just be
Let's see what that looks like when you have the bar in your hands for a second. Like if you do it the wrong way, if you flare out too early.
Okay, now.
One. Says the guy that just had shoulder surgery.
Yeah. So I'm tight. And if I flare here, look at this. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I can't go back.
Lift that way.
And then you have no strength right here. So
you're in tight.
Here's tight. That's optimal.
Yep. And your elbow is kind of swinging underneath the bar as it's getting pushed up. The bar's getting pushed up and the elbow is swinging underneath it.
And let's say almost every person I've ever seen, you are stronger locking out here than you are locking out here.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's have you sit up.
Hence, you're trying to make that bar path.
Yeah.
Just try
to kind of walk these guys through. Have Robot come through here and have Robot give it a try.
You see?
Robot, for the record, has successfully bench pressed 429 pounds in a competition.
.3432.
So your feet flat, right? Is that how you bench? Feet flat or feet back?
Feet flat.
Okay. So he's got his feet flat. You're gonna want to tuck as much as possible. Get driving in there. Are you feeling it on your traps? Yeah. Really get that deep in there. Let me see. Look, I almost got a fist on between them.
Did you just fist Robot?
Yeah, nice. Just shoved his fist right in his.
He almost.
It went in so clean.
Get real tight.
And then again, it's
squeeze that bar.
With the grip, right?
Right. Looks clean.
God, he should probably go up. That's only 135. Huh? I like
Go ahead and give it a go.
Okay.
I think I'm ready for 722.
We'll give it a whirl. Let's put it on the bar.
So, you know, what if you have someone who kind of lining up flat? Like, what's something that you can kind of cue them to kind of get them out of this position? How do you...
Coil past it. Always give that a try first.
So start up here more.
Start past. This is locked in. So there's only one thing that's going to happen. This is going to go up when you coil. If this stays
so I'm going to do a little bit of a row with my upper body, kind of pull myself up.
Yeah. I grab, pull up, and get in there. Stay right on the traps.
Yeah, that made a big difference.
On the traps. Ready? All right, get him.
1, 2, 3, up.
Drive, just keep it high.
Try a couple reps.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks actually higher.
Yeah. There you go.
Keep going? I can go all day.
Yeah.
That was good. It looked like he did come up a little bit.
Yeah, felt pretty good.
A little bit higher.
Yeah, it looked like he was up a little higher.
My feet were a little flatter than maybe my normal setup. I tried to set up like you.
You could try that technique a lot. I think it gets you a little bit tighter, lower. Yeah. You got to just find a nice spot where the feet go to begin with.
Right, and you just kind of have that naturally, but for a while, maybe guys should kind of pay a little bit more of attention to it. Yeah, kind of
look, set it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
It's like a
20, 30 times you're dialed in.
A few common problems that I hear, that I see. You know, probably the number one question I get asked about the bench press a lot, especially from newer people, is how do I prevent my butt from coming up off the bench? What are a couple of things that someone can do? Maybe we can walk Mike through it.
Yeah.
On, you know, if his butt's shooting up all the time, where can he put his feet, or how can he line up
One
better?
of the things I mentioned was instantaneous leg drive. The second you unrack the bar, we need leg drive. If you go 0 leg drive and then you touch and then you go 100 leg drive, that's one of the main culprits.
Right.
So if you have constant...
So you disagree with that technique? I've heard some coaches in the past kind of say, yeah, throw your legs into it. You kind of don't necessarily agree with that technique.
At the bottom, I'm giving it 110%. So I am throwing my legs into it, but I'm not going from 0 to 100.
Right.
Real quick.
Right. So I'm already as tight as...
Drake?
If I'm at 0 at the top, I'm not gonna be as tight, and then I feel like I'm not gonna be as high.
You're progressively getting tighter as the bars come in.
It's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
So you feel like the leg drive really gives you some good pop off the chest?
Oh, of course, leg drive is huge.
Probably helps you a lot with the pause in competition.
100%, 100%. Leg drive is definitely a technique that you should be maximizing.
So let's say his butt's coming up and his feet are kind of like this.
So now we got
kind of underneath his knees.
So we got 2 options. We can go further back.
Ow.
Okay.
Ow.
And his knee's going to be lower compared to his hip.
Oh.
And we're going to get to a stage where it can't come up.
Yeah.
Now,
my hips are really tight right now. I can feel like they're going nowhere.
So what we got to do is find out the least amount he has to go back so he could have more leg drive, but not have his ass come up.
Yeah,
that's
so
one other option.
And also not compromise the lower back, right?
Exactly. So this way, they'll come to a point where it just cannot come up.
Yeah.
Or the other option, let's say you're a flat-footed bencher. Let's go flat foot. Now let's say your ass is coming up from here, which is pretty standard like that. You're going to slowly just move this out, and then you're going to do another bench.
Like
and
just like wider and maybe further out.
Like a Y?
Just wider, and you're going to be pointing your toes a little out, and then you're going to do it, and you're going to find a spot where you can't go up.
Yeah.
Now whatever you're stronger at is going to have to be that position, so it's either feet back or feet there.
Yeah, experiment and figure what Robot kind of mentioned, so you're using leg drive to not only stay tight so you're not wobbling around, but to get a little pop off the chest.
Everything.
What is leg drive? Am I flexing am I doing a leg extension? Am I doing a leg curl?
This depends on where you have your feet. You know,
there you go.
Out front or up.
That's the magical question. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
So
people will say heels, right?
I'm kind of set up like this. What's the motion I'm looking for to get optimal leg drive?
Okay, so you always want, I always think a cue is driving my front toe through the sneaker. So it's basically doing a leg extension.
Like a kick.
Right.
So I'm going this way.
Right. Because now, if we're locked in here, and I'm driving this way, this is coming up.
If he's on a slippery bench, he's almost kind of...
Right, you should.
Right.
If you're at like a standard commercial bench, you're going to fly off the bench.
Right.
Get out of that gym, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But if you got 400 pounds on top of you, you're a 200-pound person at 600 pounds, it's a decent bench, you're going to be locked in.
Well, that was a lot of math really quick.
The robot couldn't even catch up with that.
Back to the wooden ruler. If I push a wooden ruler, it's going to bow up.
Yeah.
But he's going to bow up. The more pressure he comes back and he's locked in, it's going to bow up, and we're going to meet the bar. Instead of bringing the bar just to you, we're meeting it.
So slamming my toes through the front of my shoe and maybe pushing my knees out a little bit?
Yeah. Drive hard through, push back.
And you can see like this is kind of lightweight, but the weight's already coming up. I just want to do that. Like.
Yeah.
And then the issue is just the ass.
Yeah, and then I'll adjust.
And then it's just going to come down.
And then I bench 722, and that's it?
And that's it.
That's it.
You just do
I'm
leg
never going to work
drive,
out again.
Keep your ass down. Then I had a problem with my ass coming up, and I moved my legs out until I found a spot where it didn't come up.
What about butt implants? Will that fix an issue?
That can work.
What about, going in, another question I get asked a lot is kind of how do you prepare for the pause? Do you just train it? Like what is, what do you do for your training the pause?
A lot of board work, board work, standard pauses, and the Spoto Press where I do the pause right before hitting your chest. So instead of, if I got 600 pounds on the bar and it's sitting on my chest, maybe 300, 400, 500 pounds is sitting on my chest, and I'm only really holding 200 pounds. If I put 600 pounds and I put it right here, I'm holding 600 pounds. Yeah. So if I could do that, it's going to be a cake to do anything. Well,
when it's kind of resting on your chest almost.
Training for the menopause 101.
Right. And the Spoto Press is basically just you getting so tight that the weight is almost weightless and even momentumless because you're not like trying to drive it or heave it or throw it at all.
Right.
Is that kind of the principle behind it?
Well, yeah, it's to come as close as the chest without touching, and then you're basically doing the whole weight off your chest. So basically making the movement harder.
And kind of fast reversal strength,
right.
Yeah?
Right, exactly.
Let's just, real quickly, last thing, let's just see what it looks like when you have 2 plates on here, just so people get an idea of the exact form they should have, because I think when you actually physically show us is when it looks the best. So.
Oh, it's on me? All right.
Yeah,
put you through a little workout.
Go right around here.
Just, see if we can do 15 reps or so. What's your best with 225? How many reps have you done with it?
The 225 I have not done in a long time.
It's too light.
I think it was like around 78.
You suck.
78. Yeah.
Ready?
One more. Yep.
78 reps. Pussy.
So you're obviously trying to touch the same spot every single time.
Yep.
Goddamn Pistons.
Does that feel like anything to you? Doesn't look like it. You might do 78 reps right here.
That's it.
So what are your thoughts on basically speed of descent and whether you kind of stay tight and barely touch, or whether you sink in a little bit and get maybe a little bit of a heave off the chest?
I think that's really based on the person. I can't even do that. I've tried to do that. Obviously, if you heave, you're probably going to come down quicker, and your back's not going to be as tight, but you're going to have more momentum when you pop off. So if you're not heaving, your back's going to play more of a role, and you're just going to want to wind up. I look at it like a rubber band. So the rubber band's at its end. As it's coming down, my rubber band's getting tighter, 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 tighter. And this wants to come up just from my back. So,
regardless of how you actually press in a competition, you should press many different ways in your training, in your efforts to be the best, right?
100%. Especially, you can mix up different planes. I prefer the flat bench, but you can get some incline work and that's fine, but the majority of your work should be on the flat bench.
All right, guys, that's it. That's it from the Vanilla Gorilla, the greatest bench presser of all time, Eric Spoto, with a 722-pound bench press in competition. And that's it from howmuchabench.net. Later.